Hi, this is Marla Phillips, Director of Xavier Health at Xavier University. You know, you might have heard questions like, what is quality going to look like in 2030? Well, at Xavier University, we launched the Artificial Intelligence Initiative because we feel that artificial intelligence will take quality into the future, but yet we can access it now. So I want to explore with you what it is that we're doing at Xavier, how you can use this in your organization starting today, and how far we can take it. So we had our first Artificial Intelligence Summit in August of 2017, and we had FDA present at the very end of the summit, kind of sharing their thoughts on what they had just heard over the course of the 2 days. And Art Shabanik, who is the FDA Pharmaceutical Program Director 3 in the region where Xavier University is in Ohio, and he ended it saying, this is it. This is the future of quality. Taking a look at all of the potential that artificial intelligence offers us as quality professionals, but then also those in operations, procurement, supply chain, wherever you are, to have access to the information and the data that artificial intelligence gives, so we can then finally truly all own quality. We've been saying that for a long time. How do we get the entire organization to own quality? Well, this is it. Cisco Vicente on the medical device side leads the Case for Quality program, and he was on the stage at Xavier in August, and he said, you know, AI has the potential to fill in the gaps we cannot get to in our current approach or in our current paradigm. So again, just very, very powerful, and I think those two quotes really sum up the energy that was felt over those 2 days, because we could all see the possibilities. Now, out of the AI Summit, we developed 2 teams that are working throughout the year and will be presenting where they are at our pharma conference that is co-sponsored by FDA in March of 2018, and at our medical device conference that's co-sponsored by the FDA in May of 2018. And then they'll present the outcome of their work at next year's AI Summit in August of 2018. So, you know, the question is, imagine if, or that's kind of like the thought out there. Well, but really it's ready for action today. So you can imagine it, but let's get going. Let's roll up our sleeves and take a look at this. So imagine the power of continuous product quality assurance instead of annual audits that assess, and I think 2% is generous, so 2% of your documents and information. It's just such a small fraction of all the documents and data that you generate. So we're going to go from looking today where, you know, the information you would be assessing on an audit is after the fact to, you know, using artificial intelligence to become predictive. Today we are periodic. Artificial intelligence will be continuous. Today we take a statistical sampling at best. Again, it's really a fraction of what we look at. And AI is looking at the totality of data and information that we have that is certainly relevant, internal data as well as external data, and data that we thought originally was irrelevant. So again, imagine scanning all of your documents constantly to identify trends you didn't even know existed and identify signals that lead to GMP violations before they happen. So when we look at continuous product quality assurance, you want to look at continuous operations and the predictability of those operations. And so you have current internal variables, internal variables, available external variables, unavailable external variables, which we would then need to break down and see if we can get access to, looking at the total product life cycle. So the intersection is this ability to have robust prediction if we're looking at all of these variables together in aggregation on a continuous basis. And the algorithms and the learning that the machine has, the machine learning, goes beyond what we would even think to look at, which is exciting. But you have to be aware that if you feed bad data into an algorithm, you're going to have garbage in, garbage out. So that's just something to be aware of. So one of the teams that we formed is called Continuous Product Quality Assurance, or they go by CPQA. And the problem statement that they're addressing is basically, despite the controls our industry has had in place forever to assure product quality, we still have failures and recalls, which we all recognize. Our current human monitoring of systems and information is periodic, and the current systems of data and information are not interconnected. There's silos of information. And so you might say, okay, point A is acceptable and point B is acceptable, but is the combination of A and B acceptable, especially in light of C double Z? And so those are the kinds of questions that we as humans can't even begin to tap into. It's just way too overwhelming, way too much information. And again, that audits, assess really, far less than 2% of the information, and is only a snapshot in time, which we all know. So the opportunities through artificial intelligence is to have that internal and external signals that can be scanned continuously by AI to detect signals that could lead to failures. AI could allow machine learning to identify correlations that humans have not yet detected. AI could allow an organization to predict conditions that could lead to failures, and therefore you can then become prescriptive by setting acceptance criteria that would avoid those failures. So you even move beyond predictability and become prescriptive. Now you might be thinking, but I don't think we are ready for AI. Well, let me show you why you are and how you can benefit right away. So we've definitely taken the approach of crawl, walk, run. So there is so much output coming from both of these teams that you can use today, even if you never have any plans of using AI, which would be unfortunate. But anyway, if we look at the AI working team output on the left and compare it to how you could benefit on the right, the first one is harmonize the definitions of terms across systems. Well, you can use those suggestions right away and look at how you are defining different terms across your systems. The second one, how to clean up management of data. And what we mean by that is not scrub the data and make it look good, but if you're using one way to determine complaint rate and you're calculating failure rate differently in production, it's hard to look at this because it's not apples to apples. So cleaning it up, making it such that an algorithm can be built and pull that in and then do the comparison and find correlations. So that's important for you to do today, even without AI. If you want to look at complaint rate and failure rate, wouldn't it be nice if they were being calculated in a similar way? Again, that's just one example. The third point, how to improve electronic searchability of data and access to the data. Well, that's critical to support your current decisions being made, especially if you're about to release the product and you need to be able to search and see what trends there are, what has happened before, things like that. So again, totally useful right now. The fourth one, identifying interrelationships of data within and across systems, as well as across internal and external sources. So the mapping that the team is going to be doing is a map that you can look at, and even if you're not using electronic systems and you're completely paper-based, which I hope you're not today's day and age, but some companies are, you can take a look at that map, and if you're making the release decision, you can say, well, my gosh, I need to go look at the data that came out of our production area, the lab, and wherever else your data might be as this map is being developed. So again, you can use that today, even if you're not using AI. Okay, so more examples. Number 5, identify cause and effect relationship between data and failures to detect early signals. So this is powerful to understand even without AI. Obviously, if you have a failure and if you can figure out the cause and effect relationships, it's going to help you investigate much quicker. And then also it could help you build in systems so that you can avoid the failure to begin with. Number 6, identify all the relevant data and information needed for AI programming. And then data scientists within your company or through supplier services can implement AI from the working team output. So now if you do want to move into AI, you can take the output, give it to someone who knows what they're doing to build an algorithm, and they can build it for you. And then number 7, outline the steps needed for data governance, procedural changes, and human training. Completely useful even if you're not planning on using AI. So again, the crawl, walk, run, all of this can be used even if you have no intention of implementing AI, but the power is going to be there, and hopefully the groundwork that this team is building will help you see that AI is more practical and possible than perhaps you originally thought. Now you're saying, okay, but we don't have the time, money, or resources. Well, solutions are being developed for free and open access through the work that we're doing, and that's going to allow your company to crawl, then walk, then run. Resources would be shifting from managing failures to increasing data robustness, so you can start to talk about return on investment. However, the bottom line is money is needed. So if you're going to have return on investment, that implies that you are investing in this with the hope of getting the return. Your company might not be in a position to be able to do that. You might not have accessible funds. So, another way that you can look at this is that this can come from implementing the solutions without AI as best as you can. So again, all the examples I was just giving you, start reducing those failures so that you can have savings that you can then invest in developing AI, and knowing that the ROI will cover the expenses going forward. So there's no doubt about it. It does take money to implement AI, but there is a pathway forward. So The question is, how will you implement the future of quality in your company, knowing that that future, that 2030, how does quality look in 2030, is here today, and we have the possibility in the roadmap. So check out our website, xavierhealth.org, to see the outcome of these working groups. Get involved with us, join the team, come to the summit, and you'll feel the energy, trust me. But importantly, you'll walk away with practical solutions for your company. Thank you so much, and have a great day.